I will yield to Senator Enzi for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for having this hearing. As a result of recent drug shortages, patients all over the United States are forced to delay their treatment or use second-best alternatives. Clinical trials that use these drugs are being stalled, preventing possible new treatments from coming to market. The pharmaceuticals in shortage are complex to manufacture and treat a variety of conditions in different settings. They've always been vulnerable to shortage. However, these shortages are now more widespread. Currently, FDA lists over 200 products in short supply. These shortages result in increased costs for patients, the government providers, researchers, and worse outcomes for patients. Generic drugs make up the majority of drugs in shortage, and many are inexpensive. While we must move as quickly as possible to get these life-saving drugs to the patients that need them, it's important that we understand the causes that lead to this tragic problem. There are conflicting opinions on how economics, regulation, and supply chain management contribute to the shortages we see today. I understand this is a complex, multifaceted issue, and I look forward to hearing from all our witnesses today to help clarify the root causes and describe possible next steps. Only once we understand the causes should we craft a solution. There are many alternative policy options being discussed. My colleagues, Senator Klobuchar and Senator Hatch, have been leaders in this area, but their proposals address very different problems. We must keep in mind possible unintended consequences as we move forward. My staff's been participating on a bipartisan working group for months, meeting with the stakeholders, investigating the causes, and developing solutions. I look forward to seeing the group's proposal in the next few months. I understand that the generic pharmaceutical industry is also working to come up with a solution to address supply interruptions as well, and I look forward to hearing more about that today. There is bipartisan desire to implement a solution that will not only mitigate shortages in the short term, but address underlying causes so we don't find ourselves in this tragic situation again. I look forward to working with my colleagues on and off the committee to do this as quickly as possible without compromising the quality of the policy. I'm concerned, however, that the FDA could be doing more to address these shortages now. The Government Accountability Organization says their management remains a barrier and new record-keeping methods would not improve communication within the agency. Further, GAO says there has not been a systematic review of all applications currently waiting for approval to see if they are relevant to the shortages. As a first step, FDA should expedite the review of any applications for drugs in shortage. I find it troubling that we do not know how many applications relevant to shortages are waiting for FDA review and look forward to exploring any barriers that are currently preventing the agency from identifying and expediting these applications. That being said, I want to commend the work of the Drug Shortages Office at the Food and Drug Administration. Until recently, this office only had 4 members, yet when provided information about shortages, they've been able to assist in communication and finding solutions with the manufacturers in some cases. I only hope that this sort of collaboration among offices and FDA and industry will continue after the public health emergency is resolved. Looking back a few years, multiple companies shut down capacity at the same time. Increased coordination may have helped prevent some of the situations we find ourselves in today. Thank you for convening this important hearing, and I look forward to discussing what steps we can take to solve this tragic problem.
Thank you very much, Senator Enzi. Well, we'd like to start off by welcoming our